I think it's time for me to sharpen my planer knives because they're blunt. Because I've been hacking through some pretty old shitty timber recently, as you can probably see by this load of crap down here. Yeah, a bit of older, wet pine. Not great, no. And it's caused a bit of corrosion here and there, which I need to clean up. And also on this cutter block. And the planer knives themselves, they are dull, to say the least. Now, the thing is though, if I remove these planer knives and put them back in, they might not be exactly in line with each other. Now, this is a 2 knife cutter block. If you've got a 3 knife cutter block, it's even more important. Well, it's always important. But see, the thing is, if you've got one planer knife that's proud of the other one, you're going to have one planer knife doing all the work, aren't you? The other one becomes just a follower. That's it. It's just not doing anything. So on this particular planer, which is a Multico, and it has these clamp arrangement with 4 Allen bolts, and then you've got your planer knives. Now, if you're happy that your planer knives are currently in the correct position, well then it's really easy. And if you've got a box planer, it's probably come with a little guide that you basically sit on top of the cutter block, and you allow the springs to push the planer knives up against the guide, and then you tighten it up, and then it should all be in the correct position. And if you've got reversible, your replaceable TCT planer knives, well, every time you put a new set in, they're going to be in exactly the correct position anyway. But when you get a planer like this one, which has these planer knives that you can sharpen, hence you make them narrower every time you sharpen, don't you? They're not as wide. You're going to have to reset or recalibrate your planer knives with each other. They've got to run true to each other. Now, there is a little gadget, like this one here. Okay, there's other ways of doing this. You do it a block with, I'll show you that in a future video. But I've got these, this little knife set, planer knife set, and it comes in, well, these two, ever so cheap. It cost about €30, I think it was, from Axman's. Well, yeah, it was Axman's, €30. And all it is an adjustable plunger with a magnet on the end here. Let's bring it a bit closer so you can see it. Okay, so what you've got is this adjustable thing here, right? You spin it up and down, you can lock it off with that. So once you've got it in the correct position for your machine, you don't have to touch it again. Yeah? You can check it each time if you want, but you don't need to. So there's a magnet here which attaches to your planer knives, and then you've got these magnets here that attach to the magnets, which then attach to the cutter block. Let me show you. So basically, what you do is you place it onto the cutter block in between your bolt fixings, you know, for the clamp, and you adjust it until it just touches onto the planer knife there, and you do the same on the opposite side, such as here, like that, and you adjust it down to the planer knife, and it looks all hunky-dory to me, okay, and that way you've set the actual, these are set then, okay? They're set to what it was originally. So all you've got to do is then you remove them, take them out of your way, okay? And then you can quite easily remove or loosen your clamps for your planer knives, which I'm doing at the moment. So you loosen those, okay? And if you've got a planer like mine, this one tends to jam up. So you have to give it little taps to free it up so you can release the actual planer knives. Okay, so we're not sharpening them right this second. I will be sharpening them, but not in this video. All I'll show you is how I actually set the planer knives. So all I've got to do now is I can release the clamp like that. So that clamp is moving now. So the actual knife itself, because there's a bolt hole in there. Yours might be different. You can just put a screwdriver on the end here, and it'll actually pop it open for you as well. So that kind of work. That's loose now. So I should be able to remove the actual planer knife. But as you can see, the planer knife is still tight in the slot. I can't actually lift it. It's nothing to get hold of. So all I use is a little magnet like this one. And usually, right, I can actually lift the planer knife up with a neodymium magnet. Okay? And just pull it out of the way. There's also a good way if you want to hang them up out of the way. You know what I mean? With these little hook neodymiums. They're quite good for that. So now we've got the planer knife. So the thing is now, though, how do I reinsert this back into the planer in exactly the same position it was as I took it off, or out of the planer, all right? Now, if you do that on every single planer knife, whether you've got 2 or 3 planer knives in your block, it doesn't matter. They'll all be in line with each other if you're using these guys. It's definitely worth the money. I might leave a link in the description down below, but that wasn't, well, it wasn't my aim. I just want to show because there's this. It's quite tricky to set them without this, and if your planer doesn't come with its own jig or setting guide, well then it's also very difficult. So all I have to do is now, I pull this clamp out of the way, to give me some clearance. There's no springs in this this cutter block at all. I imagine there used to be, but I think they're missing. Actually, no, there wasn't any. I don't think there was. I can't see any provision. Usually there's little holes where they go into, but there's no provision there. So I can lift this out of the way, slide the knife back in, like so. Line it up end to end. You just want it just about protruding. In this case, by about 1/16 of an inch, 1.5 millimeters. And at this stage, I don't want to clamp it all down yet. No, I'm going to use these sets. All right, so we're going to place this back onto the cutter block, like so. Pretty much the same way as we put them on a moment ago to set them, like that, then like that. And I allow the actual planer knives, get a little bit of wiggle, like so. Make sure the planer knives are in contact with the magnets, which they are. Yep, that it is. Needs to come a bit further that way. That's it. Make sure it's actually touching the magnets. Okay, that is. So now that planer knife is in exactly the same position it was before I actually took it out. So now I can just tighten up the clamps, just so, don't go crazy. Just tighten them down a little bit. I'm just trying to pinch them up, pinch the planer knives up a little bit, so I can remove the sets out of the way. You need to tighten these up enough, just hand tight at this stage. Okay, remember you're going to do this on every single planer knife. Just tighten it up here. Remove your set, because the actual planer knife has been clamped. I'll move this bolt, so I'll just use that to hold it. There's a thread, there's a little threaded way in here. I don't know what it's for. I wouldn't be surprised it's to set the clamp. I don't know actually. No, maybe not. And then you just tighten these up. Okay? I'm going to do this again in a moment because I want to actually sharpen my planer knives. But I just want to show you how you can set the planer knives. So just tighten up like so. Don't over tighten them. They've got to be just hand tight. You know, if you over tighten them, you'll damage them. Like somebody has done, whoever had this machine before I did. And I've had this a good many years. So there you go. So that planer knife will be in exactly the same position as this one. We can check that with this set. And if I put that on there like so, if the magnet's in contact with everything, the block and the planer knife, it's in exactly the same position, isn't it? You know? And do that on both ends. Like so. Yeah. So this planer knife is in exactly the same position as that planer knife. It's a no-brainer really. Now when you actually do come to sharpening, or what you need to do also is clean all these parts out every single time, because you'll get resin build up and it'll just make all the clamps and the bolts, the knives themselves all sticky, and they're nightmare to come undone. In fact, before I started this video, I had to get a little bit of persuasion, okay? Give you little taps here and there to loosen the clamps, because exactly the same thing had happened to this one. So anyway, I hope that was helpful to somebody. Watch my other videos, and I will, on this topic, and hopefully we'll all learn something together, won't we? Toodaloo! Don't forget to boot the like button, maybe subscribe to the channel, and the little bell icon so you get a warm fuzzy feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video, you see. Toodaloo!